Professor Subramania will be live in next 1 minute. Dr. Anuj also.
No, I'm live.
Yes, sir.
You can start. No?
Professor Subramania will be live. So the attendees are joining, so we'll just wait for another 1 minute for them. So the attendees are joining, so we'll just wait for another 1 minute for them. So we may begin the session, sir. So a very good evening to all our attendees today. In the continuation with cover page, cover story. Today at I'm the Best Mom, we are going to discuss more about unfolding the coughing in childhood. Today we have the guest speaker with us, Professor Subramania NK, who is a professor of pediatrics at Vaidya Institute of Medical Science, Bangalore. Honorary Secretary, Indian Academy of Pediatrics, National Respiratory Chapter. And we will be having Dr. Anuj Rastogi with us to have the real question of the mother and from a doctor's point of view. So today's session is more going to be a lot of interaction within the experts. But yes, all the parents, please do post your question on the Q&A section, which we should be addressing towards the end of the chat from Dr. Anuj Rastogi sir and Professor Subramania. So with this, I would request Dr. Anuj Rastogi sir, please take it forward.
Thank you, Deepmanji. Thank you. We all suffer from cough once in a while, and it is more so common with the children. And in our practice, we get at least 20% of the daily OPD children suffering from cough when they are less than 33 years, and when they are school aged, then around 10% of the children they are suffering from the cough and cold, and they come to the doctor. So cough and cold is very, very common with children, and but children are not miniature adult. We should think about it, and their reason for cough is different as the reason for the cough in the adults. And it is very difficult to investigate them, and it is very difficult to diagnose them. So I will talk to Dr. Subramaniam, who is expert pediatric pulmonologist, currently practicing in Bangalore. So please join me in welcoming Dr. Subramaniam. Welcome, sir.
Thank you. Thank you.
Good evening, sir. Welcome. Sir, cough is very, very common, and especially when children they start coughing in the night and they start puking also. So it is very distressing for the parents as well as for the child. And especially when children are young, less than 6 months of age or less than 1 year of age. So, sir, how should we approach this cough if a child is coughing and he is not having fever?
I think the biggest myth every parent is having is that moment there is a cough, the problem is very, very big. I'm just addressing the day-to-day cough that makes the parent to come to a pediatrician or to a practicing physician, wherein a parent would report to a pediatrician or the physician next day morning telling that whole night child was coughing. It also had cold and fever. You know, this is a very common scenario, and this is generally because of simple respiratory tract infections. And no matter what you do, the cough is going to trouble the parents. This is what is the bottom line, and they have to understand. And if I were to dissect further this syndrome of day-to-day cough within inverted commas, if I were to call, usually first day there will be fever. First day or two there will be fever and cold and some kind of irritability, restlessness, etc. And the mothers often give paracetamol or as prescribed by the physician, some kind of antipyretics. The fever comes down, but then the real trouble starts and the cough starts on day 2, day 3, day 4, etc. And in most of the we call them as upper respiratory tract infections, or in common man's language, they are called as seasonal colds. And in these colds, the cough usually starts on second, third, fourth day, peaks by 4 to 7 days, and it may come down on 7 to 10 days, or sometimes up to 15 days. It can last as long as 20 days also. So what I wanted to tell you is that the cough follows the fever and cold, and this has a trajectory of going up, reaching the peak, and then coming down. If most of the mothers, parents, and the pediatricians and the physicians understand this profile, and if the child is fitting into this profile, more often than not, explanation of this syndrome and reassurance to the parents may be all that is required.
Thank you, sir. Sir has told this is mostly this is post-infectious cough that occurs after the viral infection or after some infection and fever. Since fever has gone, then it is not a matter of worry for the parents. If there is no fever and only cough is there, that means it is a post-infectious cough. That means जो वायरस आया था उसने सांस की नलियों को थोड़ा सा डैमेज कर दिया एंड कफ रिसेप्टर जो कि सांस की नलियों में बच्चों की मौजूद होते हैं वो स्टिमुलेट हो गए and there is a exaggerated response from the cuff receptor and so they start coughing, but as there is no fever, so there is no matter of worry here because it has started with fever and fever has gone. So this is a very consoling part, and there is no need of x-ray examination, there is no need of blood test as such. The only thing.
Yeah, just to add to the concept, if there are public and mothers viewing this, I would just explain this post-infectious cough in a very, very simple way. Let's say, Anuj ji, अगर आपने एकदम गर्म चाय पी लिया समझो by mistake, you burn your mouth, correct?
Yes,
and throat, and then you will spit out. But the point is, the burning continues. Tell me exactly when it burns the most. Is it during sipping the tea or post tea, following tea?
yes, sir.
Post. So therefore, similarly, when you have actually coughs more following an infection than during an infection. And this is what they should understand. And let me ask you, Rastogi sir, tell me what will you do when you have that burning? You will take ice, you will take water, you will have sips of water, you will take honey, no matter what you do. Tell me, really the burning stops?
No,
Absolutely. You have to suffer some amount of burning.
yeah,
But what is the reassuring part for you is that in the days to come, the burning is going to come down. But at the point of time, you have to go through the pain. I think this is exactly what the mothers should understand, that no matter what you do, it takes time and you have to allow the nature to settle. And usually there is some amount of micro damage that has been caused because of viral infection on the epithelium, or we call as mucous membrane. And that has to heal, which will take 3 or 4 days. But at times it can take longer time. Scientifically, if somebody asks me, it is because of increased sensitivity of the cough receptors following an infection. They become oversensitive. Like let's say you are already angry and someone provokes you. It is as good as that. And this cough is the most common cause of cough. And the parents should understand. And let me ask a question to you, Anuji, on the same line. I'm just asking you on your experience. Let's say you take whatever you want to do, but if you have a burning, will it come down 100%? And what is your expectation when you go to a physician for treatment? You know, he want him to completely take you off the pain and the suffering, which is literally impossible. And this is where most of the syrups fail to completely stop the cough, which is actually the expectation of parents.
Actually, you are correct, sir. And because most of the parents they are so emotional about the cough problem, they want antibiotics and the other treatment, or everybody is using nebulizer haphazardly, and they feel nebulizer is a good cough medicine, and they are using nebulizer. As soon as you start ask them, you start telling them use humidifier or use steam, they will again they will say we have a nebulizer and we want to use it. But as a matter of fact, Indian community, our population should understand these if you have shown your child to a qualified doctor, he has taken care of every serious part of that disease. They should have a patience. Like if you I remember one instance. One lady had come from USA. She came to Meerut for some reason, and she came to me for a checkup of her child for cough. And I saw her and I told her this is a viral cough. His examination is normal, and she went. After 3 days, I again saw in the TV. She again came, and I was shocked. मैंने कहा she is not satisfied. She came after 3 days, and she will complain of cough. But this time she came with another child, and she came into the clinic. I asked about the elder one who she bought few days ago. She told very simply, "Doctor साहब flu है, time लेगा चला जाएगा." So that is what the condition they are in abroad in developed countries. Their parents are so much understanding and they are having so much of patience because they know they don't chase symptoms. They don't press doctor for the writing medicine and investigation. But here in our country, because we are not as yet developed the way they have developed, and especially villager population, they feel it is pneumonia. Everything, any child start coughing or vomiting, they will feel it is pneumonia. They will always ask for pneumonia, and they will give multiple therapy of various kind. In city, they don't feel pneumonia, but they are very arrogant about it if cough is not settled. If child is vomiting, that means you are not a good doctor. So they should
I think,
understand.
sir, this is where a pediatrician or a physician should have a role. I'm just taking a small break from you, allowing you to breathe for a while. But what I wanted to tell the parents is that please understand a physician's problem. You expect a pediatrician to treat a symptom or a disease. Cough is not a disease. Cough is a symptom of a disease. And if the disease is simple, there is no treatment required. For example, a cold will go in 7 days in any case. The cough accompanying the cold will again anyway go. That is what we need to understand, and that takes time. So therefore, we should tell the parents, or the parents should understand that there is treatment for the disease, but for the symptoms, there is no treatment. Let me just quickly take through an example. You give paracetamol to a fever. Will the fever stop or come down only to come back after 4 or 6 hours? It's going to come down. It's going to come back after 6 hours. Similarly, even if you suppress the cough for a while, it's going to come back again. So therefore, please understand that for the entire cough to go, it is a question of time in most of these illnesses for which a tremendous patience is required. And as rightly being told by Dr. Anuj, it depends on uh, the intellectual capacity, and it again, I would say, it also depends on the physician who is treating them. It should come down to their level and explain in a simple way. A mother from US may require explanation of receptors and self-limiting disease, while a gav wali may just require, don't worry yaar, 4 दिन में चला जाएगा. It depends on the way you explain to them, but the truth is that it's going to go.
Dr. Subramaniam, the sensitivity has increased among the parents because now children are very few, and as soon as children start vomiting, they forget everything, and they think now he will be further weak because already he is weak. He will be further weakened. So that anxiety push them to go for more treatment, to do more things, and top of that they don't bathe to the baby, or they will have multiple layer of clothes here. Not in Bangalore, but in North, there is a lot of concept of thandi lag gayi, and they will be doing all multiple clothing and multiple layers. So they should understand it is a, if a doctor has examined and examination is clear, and he is reassuring you this is nothing but it is insignificant problem and it is going to take its own time and it will settle with time. You should trust your doctor rather than doubting on your doctor and not having enough patience. And especially when child.
I will just do a small experiment for making the parents understand why there is a cough. Anuji, if you can just cooperate with me for a while as a, you know, to help the parents understand. Let's say
Yeah,
there is a nose block. You for a second or so, can you join me in closing the nose?
yeah,
Just
sure.
close the nose. All the viewers, I request you to close the nose and open your mouth and widely breathe from the mouth and just continue for around 30 seconds to 1 minute. You will have tickling in the throat gets dried up and you will get cough. It doesn't require any great exercise to understand this. And you will have throat clearing cough. It is as simple as that. A simple nose block can produce a cough if the air is not warmed and humidified and just gets blasted onto the throat. It doesn't require even a disease. So therefore, cough could be because of a disease or because of a mechanism or because of a compensation or even because of very, very simple reasons, and that will not be cured. And let me just quickly ask you, just take a cough syrup and then open your mouth and breathe. You think the throat doesn't get dried up because of a syrup?
It
No,
dries up
again you
because
will
of
cough.
syrup.
So it is as simple as that.
And even syrup, most of the syrup they have agents which causes more dryness and more viscosity of secretions. They dry up secretions, and they rather they initially they will relieve the problem, and later on they enhance the problem. What I personally feel. So I avoid cough syrups. I explain to the parents, please don't use cough syrups. At the most, I use pseudoephedrine to keep their airways open, because most of the children they do not like xylometazoline. Uh, yeah, saline drop. We initially start with saline drops. Sometime we have to use a medicinal drops also for the nose. So
I think you brought an interesting point of cough syrups. Let the parents understand that there is nothing like an ideal cough syrup. What is an ideal cough syrup? It should not have side effects. It should be a single drug. It should stop the cough, make the child comfortable. We are yet to discover such a wonderful drug, which even I would wish to give it to my mothers who come with children with cough. But we don't have one in the market. Whatever available are, they are going to dry the nose, they're going to reduce the congestion, etc. But whether they will effectively reduce the cough, let me ask a mother. Let's say your child coughs 6 times per day. And by giving a cough syrup, it will start coughing 5.5 times per day. You think you are benefited? This is what they would at the best do for you. Suppose a child which can cough 6 times can also cough 8 times. Another two. Although if it is coughing 30 times, it can also cough 32 times. And you can't expect a cough which coughs. Let me say a mom keeps a cough count and child coughs 30 times per day, totally in 24 hours. It is not going to become zero by a syrup. Maximum 1 or 2 coughs just when the throat gets soothed may get reduced, but it is not going to reduce the cough which is going to come little later. I would ask all those mothers, just take 2 spoons of the same cough syrup which you are giving to the children and fry the chili in the kitchen. Tell me, will you cough or not cough? I think you have the answer with you and the smile gives you the answer. When no matter what you do, when there is irritation, cough is a protective reflex. In fact, God has given the cough to expel the things out. That's a myth. People think that there is a big disease because of the cough. In fact, it is a protective reflex. Something goes to your airways. Should it remain there or should it be thrown out? Suppose some irritant goes to the airways, it should be thrown out. So cough is a protective reflex. Whenever there is an infection, body wants to throw off all the culprits out. And that's the mechanism and that's the importance of cough syrup. Suppressing the cough syrup, cough is not a treatment for a disease. an unwanted, troublesome cough, which will really disturb the activities of the child. And if you're in a situation of begging, do something for my child, I can't see the child coughing. Very, very small patients, small number, I will say 2 or 3 per 1,000. 2 or 3 per 1,000 may require some amount of assistance. I would not say no, but you should be selecting such patients and try to suppress the cough. But otherwise, general prescription of having 4 to 5 bottles stock at home, or seeing that this pediatrician's cough syrup work better than the pediatrician A, B, C, etc. Trial and errors. This should be strongly discouraged.
And this is very commonly asked. I was using this because this is the era of WhatsApp and telephone. They will give a call to the doctor and she will ask, I am using this medicine, this cough syrup. Tell me some other good cough syrup because child is coughing or child is so
Anuj
much.
sir, for such moms, I will tell them that you are calling on 3rd day. Please call me on 8th day. I will give the best syrup because in 2 days it is going to come down anyway.
But they don't understand this. They are so emotional, and since it is very disturbing to have sleepless night for parents, for the child also, and most of the
And the
children
very best thing that the pediatrician can do in such a day-to-day practice is, whenever the child gets a fever and cold on day one, if you tell a parent that after 1 or 2 days your child is going to cough and your child is going to cough more, then the anxiety will really come down. Suppose you tell a mother on Tuesday that on Thursday, Friday, your child will cough more. Anyway, it is anticipated. That reduces the parental anxiety a lot. I think it's the responsibility of a pediatrician to counsel. Look here, I told you, after 2 days, the cough is going to increase. Yes, sir, you have to. They are little less anxious. I don't blame the parent because they're just anxious. Don't treat the parental anxiety by pouring couple of spoons of syrups onto child's throat. Parents need treatment, but not the child.
अच्छा सर, नाउ आई स्टार्ट एज वाइज. जैसे जो छोटे बच्चे हैं जनरली दे डोंट कॉफ. फर्स्ट 2-3 months they don't cough really, especially in first month they don't cough. If they cough there is some anatomical defect or some special problem is there. और जो थोड़े से बड़े हो जाते हैं, 2-3-4 महीने के बच्चे हो जाते हैं, उनकी जब चेस्ट पे पेरेंट्स हाथ लगाते हैं तो उन्हें खड़खड़ की आवाज महसूस होती है. क्रैकलिंग साउंड दे परसीव थ्रू palpation, and they feel it is going to develop pneumonia or child is suffering from pneumonia. Sir, please give some explanation for this.
Yeah, I think if you ask me age-wise, the most common reasons for cough in children below 6 months of age is often because of a simple nose block, and clearing the nose with either saline or with salt water. घर में जो नमक का पानी है वो एक ड्रॉप डाल के थोड़ा clean किया तो, I mean, if you don't have anything, you can just clean them and they will be fine, and feed them, and that's all that is required. But if it is an older child, please ask when the cough started. And I would tell you 1 or 2 danger signs which are important. If there is an explosive cough, sudden in onset while the child was playing, it could be some ingestion of some foreign body, like a piece of chocolate, groundnut, etc. could have been choked. And I think you will get the history very, very, and the context is very, very clear. Sudden onset of cough and the child suddenly becomes unconscious or restless, or, they will hold like this. You remember, nobody will keep quiet, or they will do some action of choking. In that case, you can expect some kind of emergency. Otherwise, if you have fever, cough, cold, which we were described in last 10 minutes or so, very typical of it, be rest assured, and you don't have to do anything. School-going children and children in the family, if the cough happens in these children one after another, did you understand my point? बड़े को हो गया, वो ठीक हो गया बुखार, उसको खांसी हो गया, दूसरे को बुखार आया, उसको ठीक हुआ, उसको खांसी आया. It means that there is a viral infection that is going on. I will give very important example. I think Meerut में भी होगा और Bangalore में भी होगा. Most of these parents put their children in nurseries or kindergartens, and one child has cold means all 20 children will get cold in sequence, one after another. By the time the child recovers, the first child again gets infected. They jump from cold to cold. So September first week cold, second week में 4 दिन थोड़ा कम, फिर से cold. And these are the moms who will trouble you, telling you that whole of September sir, आपके पास तो बहुत बार आते हैं हम, सितंबर अक्टूबर नवंबर से खांसी 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 खांसी, मेरा सारी बॉटल खत्म हुआ. Now these are the mothers who should be told that these causes are environmental. But I would just tell what the parents can do at home. Give sips of water. And I will tell you a couple of things that can be injurious to the airways. Already the airways are irritated, I told you, and you don't irritate the airways further. If there is smoking in the family, you should stop. If there is an open fuel, like kerosene or open fire, which they are using, which is less common nowadays, but they should also be stopped. Pungent odors, perfumes, or even using what I would say, mosquito coils and things like that. If you are using any of the irritants, or outdoor and indoor pollutions and irritations of the airways should be taken care of. These are a couple of simple things that the parents can do. I'm just coming to the age group of school going and preschool age group. And adolescent age group, because you asked me by age. If some teenager is coughing, please remember it could be psychogenic, and sometimes they act and they will cough in front of you, but when your attention is out, they won't cough. And if a teenager coughs in the day, but when she sleeps or he sleeps, there is no cough, that means it is psychogenic, and it's important to recognize them. This is just an age related approach. But what I wanted to tell is that most common is preschool children, those who are in the nursery, those who will jump from one to another, and they will be having associated symptoms which will make the syndrome very clear. Suppose there is no fever and there is wheeze and cough which is coming again and again. Please understand, it could be environmental, it could be a wheeze that children often outgrow with the age. Do you remember that if I ask the mothers how many times you visited the doctor in first year, second year, third year, fourth year, fifth year, they will tell, sir, हमने तो 10-15 बार गए थे पहले 2 साल में, बाद में 3-4 बार गए. In fifth year, I hardly remember, but for the second child, I went. This is when, there is a reduction in the cold and cough by this time. There is second important symptom which you should always ask is associated wheeze. Cough and wheeze means if a child is coughing every now and then, without fever, without colds, apart from colds, if the child is only coughing along with wheezing, wheezing means this kind of musical sound if the child is producing, please remember, consult your pediatrician, ask him one question. Do you think, sir, is it asthma? Please ask them. They are going to explain to you in a very nice way, but time does not permit me to explain asthma. But in an asthma, if you get cough, you will get violent bouts of cough, and I'll just show you the cough. You will get bouts of cough. But if you get this is cold and cough. This is throat clearing cough. Whereas if you get bouts of cough and lastly the child will vomit. And if there is an associated wheeze also, then it could be asthma.
So, most of the parents, when we talk about asthma, as we do not have any good test less than 5 years of age, we do not do spirometry like oscillometric spirometry and all, and there no blood test and X-ray are suggestive of asthma. So it is a clinical diagnosis by and large. And when we start inhalers, are they habit forming, sir?
No. Inhalers are never habit forming. But if a mother has a doubt whether my pediatrician has told correctly asthma or no asthma, the best way a mother can ascertain is that whenever a syrup containing salbutamol is given, or whenever a nebulization is given, or whenever an inhaler is prescribed, if the child responds excellently, sir, हमने 7 बजे आए आपके क्लिनिक में आपने कुछ दवाई डाल के आप नेबुलाइजेशन किया, 7:30 बजे बच्चे ठीक रहा, रात भर सोया. This is characteristic of asthma. Please remember, if your child responds very well to treatment, you are very happy with the doctor, you are very happy with the procedure, probably you head for asthma. And it is seasonal, triggered. You know, you will have a trigger. You will know suddenly ek thoda kuch change hua, dust ho gaya, they will start coughing. This is typical. Let's say you are not happy with the doctor's prescription. Sir, आपने क्या दवाई दिया, कुछ फर्क नहीं पड़ा. It could be ordinary cold and cough. It may not be asthma at all. But you should never suspect your doctor's diagnosis. And don't go to another doctor only to get the answer no from the other doctor. Because the doctor who has told you the bitter truth may be a doctor who is sincere to you, who wants your child to become better with asthma, than a person who will just please the parents and would say no asthma just because you like it.
And what is the trajectory of asthma in children? How many of them they will outgrow asthma, and how many of them will continue to have asthma?
Yeah, if you take around somebody who coughs and wheezes below 5 years of age, around 70 to 80% of them become better with age. And how do I know they become better? That exactly I told you, in first year they will have more episodes. Second year, third year, they will have more episodes. By fourth, fifth year, the number of episodes as well as the severity episodes decreases. But in around 10 to 30% of patients, the wheezing and cough continues. Please understand, not only it continues, it comes in episodes. There are free interval periods, but the frequency keeps like almost every month, every 1.5 months. You don't see decline in the number, severity, or duration of the episodes with the age. It may rather increase. These are the children who are to be focused. And mind you, they will not have cough cold only because of colds. They will have cough cold because of perfumes. They will have cough cold because of the dust. They will have cough cold because of travel, exposure to pollens, exposure to coil, smoking, so on and so forth. You must identify the syndrome. Please understand. That means, why do you get that cough? Let me just ask you a question. Suppose you are already irritated. You are already irritated. Somebody just ask your name. क्या नाम है तुम्हारा? Hey, तुमको मेरा नाम लेके क्या है? You know, you suddenly jump. What is the mistake of the person? He has just asked your name, but you are already agitated, so you will reply very quickly. So therefore, in asthma, what happens is the airways are already inflamed. It just requires a trigger, a small trigger, very meager stimulus. The airways very obvious, and it is not at all difficult even for the parents to recognize. If you ask a grandmother, she will tell, "Nahi saab, ye to thoda alag खांसी दिखता है मेरे को." It is a different type of खांसी. मैं तो बहुत बार देख चुका हूँ. ये खांसी थोड़ा अलग है, डॉक्टर साहब अच्छी तरफ से देखो. Many mothers have told me, many grandmothers have told me. Rastogi sir, I think for you also they must have told you, sir, ये कुछ और लग रहा है मेरे को. So this is very important for us to recognize. Remember, there are two types of cough. Cough that is recurrent, that means comes, goes, there is an interval, comes, goes, and there is an interval. This is asthma. If somebody gets a cough and doesn't go at all, persistent, please go to your doctor, ask them to, take a couple of, detailed history, and examine for, sputum or for x-rays or blood tests and so on. So he will find out the reason for persistent cough. So please, you have to separate persistent cough from recurrent cough. What we told you in the first 10 minutes is acute cough. That means simple day-to-day cough that जो आता है जाता है. This is जो आता है फिर से आता रहता है. This is asthma. जो आता है नहीं जाता है. This is something which you should get worried. This is something which you should get evaluated and investigated. We cannot teach you the whole of medical science in 20-30 minutes. Please understand. There could be a disease really in the airways that is troubling the child. It needs to be explored.
राइट सर। तो सर ने ये बताया है कि अगर जो खांसी बार बार हो रही है और नेबुलाइजर से या इनहेलर से या सल्बुटामोल सिरप या लिवोलेंस सिरप से ठीक हो रही है, उसमें आपको करेक्टिव ट्रीटमेंट देना पड़ सकता है। आपके डॉक्टर वो डिसाइड करेगा। और जब आप परसिस्टेंट खांसी की बात करते हैं, व्हेन यू आर टॉकिंग ऑफ परसिस्टेंट कॉफ मींस रेगुलर कॉफ फॉर मोर देन 4 वीक्स, देन इट इज सेड एज ए परसिस्टेंट कॉफ। अदरवाइज अगर खांसा आज हुआ, एक हफ्ता खांसी हुई, 5-6 दिन नहीं रही, फिर एक हफ्ता हो गई, इट इज नॉट कॉल्ड एज परसिस्टेंट कॉफ। तो सर ने बताया अगर खांसी हुई, सही हो गई, फिर दोबारा हो गई, तो दिस कुड बी जस्ट रिकरेंट वायरल इन्फेक्शन। स्पेशली छोटे बच्चे जो स्कूल भी जाते हैं और क्रच में जाते हैं, तो वहां एक दूसरे से इन्फेक्शन कैच करते रहते हैं, जिसकी वजह से उन्हें कॉफ होती रहती है। बट loading them with cough syrups unnecessarily will worsen their situation. Even, sir, what is your call on this medicine like Vicks Vapora, when something like that they apply on the chest of the child or on the nose of the child or the soul of the child? Yeah.
See, I would ask a question to everyone. Suppose you have headache and somebody does like this for you. आपको भी अच्छा लगता है, सबको अच्छा लगता है. It is just a pacifying way. If a child is crying, if a mom takes and cuddles it, it is not but that the child becomes better because of cuddling. It's just that pacifying. So these vapor rubs and all that give some kind of soothing. And I will tell you, none of them will really help you 100%. It is only like, I would say, a sip of water, as some kind of pacifying, pacifying. A spoon of cough syrup, they're all same. There is nothing like one better than the other, because they don't mean much, and this is just a symptomatic relief that somebody can get. If let's say रस्तोगी साहब आप खांस रहे, कोई आके आपका बैक से थोड़ा ऐसा ऐसा किया, उल्टी कर रहा है, थोड़ा अच्छा लगता है, उससे उल्टी बंद नहीं होता है, उल्टी ठीक भी नहीं होता है, फिर भी आपको अच्छा लगता है. This is just called as pacifying, and that's not treatment. This is just a human sympathy and empathy, but that's emotional and not related to any scientific evidence that will help.
राइट सर। और जो बच्चे जैसा कि आपने बताया, बच्चे खांसते इसलिए ज़्यादा हैं और वॉमिटिंग भी कर देते हैं बिकॉज वो अपनी चेस्ट को क्लियर नहीं कर पाते। दे कांट एक्सपेक्टोरेट देमसेल्फ लाइक एडल्ट्स। बड़े लोग अपनी नाक साफ करके, सिनक के और अपना गला साफ करके अपने आप को क्लियर कर लेते हैं। बगैर बच्चों के लिए बड़ा मुश्किल है। कुछ कंट्रीज में ट्रेडिशन है, दे पुट फिंगर इनटू द माउथ ऑफ द चाइल्ड व्हाइल दे आर कफिंग, so that they can puke and they can relieve their sputum or whatever has formed, so that they have better relief of cough. तो कॉफ के लिए इतना वरी होने की जरूरत नहीं है। द मोस्ट इंपॉर्टेंट पार्ट, यू शुड शो टू योर डॉक्टर, क्वालिफाइड डॉक्टर हु इज अ पीडियाट्रिशियन एंड हु विल बी टेकिंग केयर ऑफ योर चाइल्ड. इफ देयर इज समथिंग रॉन्ग और समथिंग इवॉल्विंग, ही विल फाइंड इट आउट. अगर आपके बच्चे को बुखार है और खांसी है, तो मोस्टली दिस कुड बी वायरल इन्फेक्शन. पहले दिन एक्सरे कराने से कोई फायदा नहीं है। अगर बच्चे की खांसी बढ़ती है और उसका बुखार बढ़ता है, आप काउंट्स कराते हैं, टीएलसी डीएलसी थोड़ी खराब आती है, तो कई बार एक्सरे करा सकते हैं, क्योंकि निमोनिया आता भी देर से और जाता भी देर से एक्सरे के अंदर. एंड मोस्टली जब डॉक्टर के पास आप जाओ, डॉक्टर के चैम्बर में जाते हैं, तो डॉक्टर के डिसीजन बहुत सारे आपके वैक्सीनेशन स्टेटस पे भी डिपेंड करते हैं. अगर आपके बच्चे को न्यूमोकोकल वैक्सीन लगा हुआ है, फ्लू वैक्सीन लगा हुआ है, तो डॉक्टर काफी आपके बारे में रिलैक्स हो जाते हैं कि इसको कोई सीरियस प्रॉब्लम नहीं होगी. व्हाट इज योर कॉल ऑन दिस सर? वैक्सीनेशन कितना इंपॉर्टेंट है बच्चों के लिए?
No, I think there is no word that I can use. This is the greatest discovery of the millennium. हर माँ को टीका लगाना जरूर है. No matter whatever disease is there, it will reduce the burden of all diseases. They are the most effective medicines. You must reduce the disease burden. I think रस्तोगी साहब आप एक interesting बात बताए regarding what the mother should do. I just recollected that many mothers ask for an antibiotic for a cough. Please remember, let us from this forum tell you strongly, when there is cough, more the cough, lesser is the requirement for an antibiotic.
Wonderful, sir.
There is
Wonderful.
no cough, that time you may really require antibiotic. If a child has only fever and no cough, no cold, only fever, please approach your doctor. It could be viral, but it could be even bacterial. Please examine. But if a child is coughing, I'm very happy. If a child has fever and cough, I'm very happy. Not no difficult breathing. I mean, no fast breathing. ऐसा नहीं है श्वास ले रहा है अच्छी तरफ से और दूध पी रहा है, छाती का दूध पी रहा है क्या, ऊपर की पानी पी रहा है अच्छी तरफ से. Otherwise the child is comfortable, but for the cough, you understand my point. You should look at the child, not only the cough. The child is overall fine and cough and cold and fever is the problem, and fever has come down but the cough continued. Please don't worry. For the presence of cough, in absence of fever, if you give antibiotics, it is waste. Please understand, antibiotics are for bacterial infections, not for viral infections. And bacterial infections don't produce cough as much as a viral infection produces. Please understand, as parents, strongly. It is most commonly viral infections that produce cough, and antibiotics don't help in viral infections. And there is nothing like secondary bacterial infection, or kal hone wala bacterial infection is prevented by taking antibiotics today itself. Aisa kuch nahi hai. This is not, antibiotics are not like anticipatory bail. They don't work like that. Antibiotics, please understand, for the parents, I'm telling you, it means that they reduce the bacterial multiplication. Antibiotics means they reduce the bacterial multiplication and kill them. When there is no bacteria, what they will kill? And they are not multiplying, what they will kill? Please understand. If the bacteria are multiplying, they'll produce fever. When there is no fever, it means that the bacteria are not multiplying and we should not take antibiotics. This is a strong message. I think once say no to cough syrups, at the same time say no to antibiotics, especially during ordinary cough, cold and fever. While we have explained you most of the danger signs, I think just Rastogi sahab mere ko 30 seconds dijiye. I will tell you when there should be danger signs. If the child is not conscious, if the child is not able to feed, if the child is not able to sleep, not disturb sleep, child is not able to sleep at all, the child is irritable, if the child's cry is not consolable, if the fever is not coming down, if the child looks sick in between fevers, if the overall intake is reduced markedly, please understand my point. The child's appearance is sick, plaster on the face, and if the mother feels that definitely there is some illness, not the cough, there is some illness, please understand my point. And if the child appears blue, if the color of the baby is changed, or if the child appears pale, if there is puck in the chest, retractions in the chest, or if there is indrawing in the throat, any of these signs, if the child is shaking, please remember, you must consult the doctor urgently and maybe even considering hospitalization. These are some of the danger signs which you should know, not telling that everything is fine.
What I've seen in my clinical practice, parents fear more of jaundice rather than respiratory problem. And I will request to all, because they are not letting them even bathing, so they don't see their chest. तो अगर आपका बच्चा बहुत ज्यादा खांस रहा है और फीवर भी है, तो एटलीस्ट उसके एक बार कपड़े उतार के देख लीजिए कि उसकी पसली तो नहीं चल रही है, जो नीचे का रिप कीजिए उसमें कोई गड्ढा तो नहीं पड़ रहा है. दैट मीन्स योर चाइल्ड इज सीरियस. You should immediately report to emergency or to your doctor chamber immediately, whatever may be the time. Even in midnight, you should go to the hospital, because हो सकता है उसकी ऑक्सीजन कम हो सकता है उसको और ज़्यादा प्रॉब्लम्स हो रही हो. And this is one thing which is really missed by parents, because they over cover to their children and they miss it. So they fear more of a jaundice rather than they fear a respiratory problem. और जहाँ खांसा वो उसको वैसे निमोनिया कहते रहेंगे, but they don't understand when child is getting sicker and when they should report to the doctor. एक चीज और बहुत कॉमन है यहाँ पे, जहाँ बच्चे को खांसी एक हफ्ते से ज्यादा हुई, they will get X-ray and then they will label at primary complex, and they very soon they start anti-tubercular treatment. Sir, any comment upon that, sir?
Usually remember that if somebody has a doubt, in a child with prolonged cough of more than 15 days, 20 days, like that, if there is no fever, tuberculosis is unlikely. Please remember, you should have a low grade fever for tuberculosis. That's an important thing. Please understand, there should be fever. If the fever and cough are parallel, then I would say yes. But if only cough is there but fever is not there, then unlikely that your child has tuberculosis, because tuberculosis is not a generally an airway disease. Cough is always because of the airway. Tuberculosis is a disease of the lungs, not the airways. I'm just telling in general for the public. But for a pediatrician and physician, they know very well how to diagnose tuberculosis.
अच्छा सर, मैंने आपका बहुत टाइम लिया, बस लास्ट में बता दीजिए, आजकल कोरोना चल रहा है और बच्चे को खांसी भी है, बुखार भी है, तो व्हेन वी शुड थिंक ऑफ कोरोना एंड व्हेन वी शुड गो फॉर द टेस्ट ऑफ कोरोना एंड टेकिंग केयर ऑफ दैट पार्ट.
If an index child or child alone has cough cold, it is not corona. Please remember, I can boldly tell you, I'm sorry for oversimplification, but child alone cannot have. From where the child should get the COVID disease? It should be from a parent. And without a parent being affected, only child being affected, at least till date, I have not seen in any of the families. Only child getting cold. See, unless now we are opening the schools, maybe now the scenario may change, that child to child transmission can happen, but in majority of the children it is asymptomatic. Asymptomatic means there will be no symptom, child will be COVID positive and nothing much will happen to the child. And generally, like any other disease, like any other viral illnesses, they go through the disease. 70 to 80% of the COVID in children are asymptomatic. That means they don't produce any symptoms. Please understand, a coughing child is more because of a seasonal cold and cough than because of the COVID. This is one. And if a child responds to nebulization, it is not COVID. It can be asthma or any viral infection, because COVID in the airways don't get better with salbutamol nebulization. This is again a simple message, and I think I'm just oversimplifying for the sake of it, because then no. If a child is not irritable, has no fever, etc., again I'm coming back to no COVID situation. Let's say some family member is having COVID, and this child gets a cold, cough, and fever. My question is it a seasonal cold or is it COVID? This is difficult to tell for any pediatrician. At that time, irrespective of the advice, please get an RT-PCR done even for the child. If there is some member in the family getting affected, or if there is a real one-to-one story of exposure to a COVID patient, you have taken the child to some marriage hall, and after coming back, child gets the cold, cough, fever. Who knows that the parents may get next day? You will never know. On that day, I'm talking. So therefore, always go by the context and the flow of events, timeline, calendar, when is the probable exposure, etc. Directly jump, COVID virus doesn't jump from the road community into the 7th floor of your house and then affect your child. So these kinds of dreaming should not be done. And this is only over anxiety by the parents.
Thank you, sir, and thank you for your valuable time given to us. And there are certain take-home messages which you have given to us. सबसे पहले जितना एक्यूट कॉफ है वो जनरली वायरल इन्फेक्शन है, और अगर फीवर खत्म हो गया है और खांसी बढ़ रही है तो कोई चिंता करने की बात नहीं है. सिंपल स्टीम कैन वर्क. ज़्यादा कफ सिरप देने से फायदा नहीं है. और अगर आपका बच्चा नेबुलाइजर को रिस्पॉन्ड करता है, नेबुलाइजर से बेटर हो जाता है, आपके डॉक्टर ने नेबुलाइजर बताया है, तो आपको उसको, और रिकरेंट कॉफ है तो आपको उसको इनहेलर पे डालना होगा, और इनहेलर से कोई उसकी आदत नहीं पड़ती है. नेबुलाइजर में आप इनहेलर की अपेक्षा कहीं ज्यादा दवाइयाँ देते हैं, जो दैट इज नॉट रिक्वायर्ड, कॉस्टली, दैट बिकम इवन कॉस्टलियर, और आपका जो ट्रीटमेंट है वो ठीक से परसों नहीं हो पाता है. एंड कोविड में अगर आपका 1:1, अगर कहीं कोविड के एक्सपोजर की हिस्ट्री है तो आप अपने बच्चे का RT-PCR कराएं. अननेसेसरी दवाइयाँ ना दें बच्चे को, और 1-2 उल्टी करने से बच्चा बेटर फील करता है. और ये देखा गया है कि अगर जनरल कॉफ में अगर आप एंटीबायोटिक्स देते हैं तो उनको डायरिया और शुरू हो जाता है. आपने एक कोमॉर्बिडिटी और बढ़ा ली उसके साथ, सेकेंडरी इन्फेक्शन रोकने के लिए जो आपने एंटीबायोटिक दी, उससे और उसको डायरिया हो गया. ऑलरेडी बच्चों की भूख खांसते हुए या वायरल इन्फेक्शन में कम हो जाती है। सर ने बताया अगर ऐसे में आप एंटीबायोटिक देंगे तो उनकी भूख और खराब हो जाएगी और इरिटेबिलिटी बढ़ जाएगी। थैंक यू सर सो मच। थैंक यू सर।
Thank you,
Thank you.
thank you, Professor Subramania, and thank you, Dr. Anuj Rastogi, sir. It's a lot of learning today, and the last question of your is one of the highest search in the Google. More than 66 crore people have already searched or tried to find an answer for children, whether they are absolutely in threat of COVID. So in and around, I would request the attendees, please do attend this session. And if anybody have missed out, please see through it, because many times we miss out and we follow on the Google Doctors. So let's have it from the right source. And we will continue series of interaction. So the next session is coming with pregnancy and how beautiful it can be with some of the guidance from the experts. Dr. Professor Subramania, thank you so much once again, and we will be looking forward to see you again, because this is such a topic, and we will love to have you with various other challenges, maybe the seasonal, which is parents have lots of questions. But thank you so much for today's time, and we will be looking forward for the next time, sir. Dr. Anuj Rastogi, sir, once again, thank you so much for
Thank
your absolutely
you.
bringing a lot of clarity to all the parents through you. Thank you so much, sir. And thank you, the attendees. And I would request,
Thank you.
if you have any specific query or anything you would like to learn more about I Am the Best Mom, please do send us email and do visit to the website for more information. We would love to bring those topics. Thank you so much, Doctor.